assertive. I want to make an offer today on the property over your phone. Let them know you want to do something today, and just see where they're at with that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to shut up, man. Go ahead, Victor. You take it over, man. This is your house.
No, man, it's a collaboration. We're all in here trying to help each other. But yeah, so the bottom line is we want to get to that. We want to set the agenda initially, and then we want to identify what it is that we can help this person with. And we need to do it in as little a conversation as we possibly can. And we want them to actually tell us rather than us trying to grill them. And we definitely don't want to go into presentation mode. That's one of the things that I noticed the most about Claude is that he never presents, like never. Like, he will turn around. One of his techniques that he likes to use that's outstanding is, he will say something like, that's an outstanding question. Why do you ask that? That's obviously important to you. Right? But the first thing you have to get to is for them to actually ask a question, which they won't do if we're presenting. Right? If we're doing presentation mode, it's difficult for them to actually ever get to the question to ask you to be able to, for you to be able to really dig a little bit deeper. So let's go a little bit further, guys. Anybody else want to do a role play?
Hey, I'll be the homeowner.
Okay, hey Ricky. All right. Does anybody want to be the investor, or I could jump in here if I need to? Any other? Rocky, you want to be the investor?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, cool. Rocky will jump in here. Hey, Rocky, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
All right. So you guys want to paint your scenario, Rocky, or should I paint it for you?
So you're trying to buy my house, or I'm calling you?
Yeah, you calling me. I'm the homeowner.
He's the homeowner. You're the investor.
Okay. How about it's like a $200,000 house, and you got another house that you need to move into, so you're gonna have 2 mortgage payments, and I want to get into a lease option with you.
All right, that'll work. And I'm new to this. I mean, I've bought houses, but I've never had to get on the phone and negotiate this type of way. So it's gonna be new.
Okay. Okay. I'm just thinking real quick, because normally everybody's pre-screened before I talk to them. But
oh yeah, you have a little different format in it.
But it's all good though.
Okay. All right, you got this.
What was your name?
Ricky.
Okay. So just say hello.
Hello.
Hey, Ricky, this is Rocky. You spoke with my secretary, Vanessa, earlier about doing a lease option on your house. Are you still wanting more information on that?
Yeah, I do. That ain't my first choice. I prefer to sell it, but that's a possibility. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm checking it out on Zillow here. It looks really, really nice. Why do you want to sell it?
I'm gonna have bought another one, and we're getting ready to move. I got to be out of this one in a few weeks.
Where are you moving to?
Well, it ain't far, on the other side of town.
Other side of town? Cool. Yep. So what did you like about the house?
Everything, really. I mean, it's really got no problems. We took good care of it. I'm just, moving to a different neighborhood, basically.
Yeah, what prompted the move?
My wife wanted something bigger.
Something bigger, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man, wives are expensive. Man. Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, what kind of condition is it in?
It's in good. I mean, we took very good care of it. They really don't need anything.
It doesn't need anything. And what's your situation on it? I mean, do you owe the bank anything on it?
Yeah, we owe some on it. Yep.
Okay. Well, what would be your ideal selling price on a place like this?
Well, it's worth 200, and I'd like to get 200 out of it. I mean, they've sold down the street, and for pretty much the same price, pretty close to it.
200. How did you come up with that price?
We had actually talked with a realtor, and that's what they suggested, putting it on the market for. But I don't really want to go through no realtor. I really sell it myself and be done with it.
Yeah, save those real estate fees. Well, how long have you been trying to sell it for?
We just put it on the market probably about 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago. You must have got a lot of offers on it already.
I got a lot of calls. Ain't nobody made no commitment yet.
Really? Or do they need like typical bank financing, or how are they trying to get into the place?
Yeah, that's really what I'm trying to do. Just sell it outright. I would be considered what you're talking about, a lease purchase type thing, possibly. It depends on, what it all sounds like.
So you got like 2 house payments coming up then.
Yes.
Okay, so is that vacant right now?
Yes, we just moved out.
Wow. It's got to be stressful, having two payments like that.
Yep. I mean, if I got to, I don't want to. I got other property that got rented, which I'm trying to get out of the business. So I really don't want to rent it.
Yeah, the benefit of the lease option is you don't have to deal with toilets and deal with the tenants. It's just like if they had a mortgage with Chase Bank, they're not going to call them and ask them to fix the toilet. They'll be taking care of all that themselves. But what I could do is I could take this property off your hands, coming up here on the 1st. And what I can do is put a qualified tenant buyer in there. And then your payments will be made every month until the buyer can cash out. I mean, typically my buyers, their credit scores are already pretty good. They just need a little bit of time, and time to shop around and maybe the rates will come down a little bit, 12 months to 36 months, and then get a bank loan and cash you out. What would be the ideal payment that would make you happy every month on a lease payment? What would be the ideal number for you?
Probably somewhere around $1,300 a month.
13? How'd you
Yes, sir.
come up with that?
Well, that's what the rent's going for in the neighborhood.
1,300. Here's what I could do on a lease option. And I work for you for free. It doesn't cost you anything. The tenant buyers, my fee comes from them, and they're non-exclusive contracts. So we can make it for like a 6-week contract. If I don't sell it, it's no harm, no foul. It's no cost to you. And if you find a cash buyer tomorrow, they wants to come in with the bank loan, you can go ahead and take that with them. So it's non-exclusive. But no, I could send over a contract that would have so you said 13. I could probably get you $1,450 a month. How would that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, what I can do is I can make the first payment due on the 1st of the month. It will be the $1,450, and then every month, we'll make those payments to you. And then
I'd like to know a little more. I mean, are they putting anything down, or what's their chance of getting a loan at the bank? I mean,
all the people are.
frame?
Yeah, all the people are pre-screened to make sure they qualify. Typically it's like 3 times the amount of the payment. We want them to make that income, and you would get to approve the tenant buyers before we put them in there.
All right, so what would I get as a down payment? I mean, option money or whatever. I mean, how does that work?
What I could do is, I know what I could do now. I could probably get, the first month's payment for you, and then every month, they make, getting those payments made, and then, we'll cash you out at 200,000 is what you're wanting to get out of it, right? You
Yes,
want
sir.
200,000.
Right.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and lock in that price today at 200,000 with the $1,450 a month payment. What's your underlying mortgage payment on that? If you don't ask me mine, or you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, well, I really don't want to give that up. I mean, I know I owe probably close to 100,000. I ain't got the exact number, but
Yeah, so you're probably paying, maybe $600 a month on that loan. So you'll be making that spread every month. That the difference between the $1,450 and that is yours in your pocket every month.
okay. And maybe I missed it a while ago. My phone rung, but did you say I get any kind of option money up front? Or I mean, how does that work? Where does your money come from on this? How do you make money?
My fee comes from the tenant buyer. I match your property with one of our people from our pool of tenant buyers, and then I get a fee for that.
Is your fee the down payment, the option payment, or am I out of that, or how does that work?
Well, what I could do is to sweeten the deal for you, I could, I could make it a 1%, we could put 1% of the sales price in escrow. So if my tenant, the tenant buyer doesn't buy, that goes to you. So that would be like $2,000 that we could put in an escrow account. So if the tenant buyer doesn't buy, that's yours.
Okay, when you say put in escrow, does that mean if he's gonna be there 24 months, 36 months, is he gonna be held in escrow this whole time, or? I want money now, put it that way. Something.
Yeah, well, probably the best thing I could do is, say if we didn't do the escrow amount, what I probably could do is.
Let me jump in here real quick. Okay, so there's a pattern starting to develop a little bit, Rocky, where every time he asks you a question, you actually go in and start answering, and because you're thinking as an investor and as a person I know who is very technical, you are trying to paint the picture for him about how this thing works, right? Maybe, try, asking him questions more in terms of, hey, that's a great question. How much would it take? What would you need to see to have that, be a result that you're looking for? What, and kind of, let him answer what it is that exactly that he wants, because he's obviously thought about some things, because he's asking you some great questions in regards to down payments and things like that. And like, he made an offer to you earlier in the conversation, and you immediately acquiesced and gave him another $1,500 or something like that without even, fighting for it, right? And that's your money that you just kind of gave away, right? So consider, and by the way, I'm not saying that to be negative or anything. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. It's amazing, because it really shows exactly what the rest of us do. That's exactly what we're doing when we get on the phone, right? So this conversation could turn into a long conversation with you basically answering all of his questions and trying to give him exactly what it is that he wants, because you want this deal. So at this point right now, it seems like you're a little more invested than he is, right?
Okay.
And we never want to get there.
Okay.
Like, we never want to sit in that seat, right? Where we're more invested than this guy.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So maybe you want to go back to asking them some questions. That's a great question. Why do you ask? That's a great question. What would it take? That's a great question. You've obviously seen this before. How did it work out for you before? Or, what is it that you want to accomplish out of asking that question?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're back in.
Back on role play.
So what are you gonna do if you're not able to sell this place?
Well, I have thought about doing like an owner finance type thing. I had other properties that I had rented, and I swapped them over to owner finance, and that seemed to work out, pretty well.
How does that work?
Well, it worked out pretty well. I mean, I'd only want to do that for 3 years, 36 months, just like a bank would, then get it refinanced.
Sounds similar to what's the difference between that and a lease option?
Well, I guess I would be out of it. I would have no ties to it. I mean, if something happened, as far as maintenance and stuff like that.
Well, with the lease option, the tenant buyer is responsible for all the repairs, so you're not responsible for that with with the lease option. But tell me about the owner financing. How much would you want down on that?
Ooh, I'd be looking for 10%.
10%.
Yep.
That's tough. I mean, typically we don't give anything down.
But I mean, and you're an investor, right?
Let me jump in here real quick, Rocky.
Yep.
So some of the comments are stroke his ego a little bit, like, I get that. Stroke him up a little bit. And something else that you might want to consider here is hesitating. Like, you don't need to answer this question right away. Let him sweat a little bit on. You know what I'm saying? He's asking all this stuff, and he's positioning himself outstandingly. By the way, Ricky, you do great job. He's putting himself in the control position. Consistently, he's moving to control, right? And so you're answering, and they do that to us all the time, especially the experienced ones. So one technique that Claude really promotes is,
And I'm not trying to be hard. I'm just,
Yeah,
no, no, you're doing fantastic. You're doing great, and so are you, Rocky. We're just talking about techniques here. We're just talking about, you're doing this, consider doing this. Nothing wrong with what you're doing per se, except if is it in line with what you actually want to accomplish in terms of guts.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So that's what I was saying. When he starts asking for monies or whatever, make him sweat a little bit. Yeah. Is that the best you can do? In that mode of thinking, you get that?
Okay. So you said you want 10% down
yes, sir.
on owner finance?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know if I'm your guy.
Yeah, and tell me something else while we in this. I mean, I know you're an investor. So you being an investor, are you actually going to be able to give me what I want for this property versus a homeowner? I mean,
I can get you your full asking price.
how soon? How quick?
Well, I'd be looking to get somebody in there on the first. I mean, what would it take as far as like, if we did like a lease option, what would be the number that would make you happy and your wife happy? If I could take this off your hands where that next payment is not going to be out of your bank account.
Okay.
I mean, how would that
No,
be?
you tell me what you could put down. I wouldn't want to go no longer than 12 months. And I'd really be sad when the 12 months was up, if they come in and want to get the property back, because I don't want the property back.
Well, yeah, I mean, if something like that happened, I would just put another tenant buyer in there.
Yeah, but how long can this go on before I'm out of it?
Well, if you're getting payments every month, it's in this market, there could be another lockdown in 2 months. So, I don't know, you could try to sit on it and be making those monthly payments on an empty house. I mean, I know my wife would be kicking my ass if I was making 2 house payments and
right.
I mean, barely make the first one. But, I can come in and take this off your shoulders, on the 1st of July. I can come in and we can give you $1,450 at closing. And then every month you would get that $1,450 and then you can walk. And then those payments to the bank will be made every month. And you're collecting that spread every month, almost $900 that you'll be collecting every month. So that's almost like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a year that you're collecting. And if you were to cash out, you're going to have a big tax bill on that. Like if you were to cash out and get a big sum of money, you're going to have capital gains on that. And you're going to, it's going to be pretty heavy.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I mean, what kind of money are you talking about putting up front?
Okay, let me jump in here. How could you have turned that into a question?
Like which line?
The tax situation, because you could have made that a pain point.
Oh, well, what are you going to do about the tax? The tax situation on that.
Yeah. Have you thought about the tax situation on this?
Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't really thought about that. Maybe I should rent it for a year or so. They're not quite as bad after that, right?
Yeah, well, if we can agree on the numbers, I can just write up a offer today. And like I said, it's non-exclusive. It's no cost to you. And, my fee doesn't, it's not coming from out of the money that's coming to you. But I can go ahead and put on it, $1,450 on the monthly payment. And then, we can get you $1,450 in cash, on the 1st. And then we can just run with it. So I have some tenant buyers right now that are qualified. They're looking for a place. All I have to do is just send them some pictures and we can get them in.
Okay, I mean, I can go with the $1,450 a month if you can satisfy what I'm needing up front. I mean, what can you do up front for me?
Well, I mean, that is up front. I mean,
the $1,450? Yeah, I want more than that.
Well, what would be your ideal number?
Probably around at least 4,000.
4,000?
Yeah, I mean, what you
up
got?
Front?
Yeah, what's in your mind? Tell me.
Oh man, I mean,
maybe we can meet.
What if What if I could get you a little bit more on the lease payment a month? What if I could get you $1,600 a month on your lease payment, and then it's just $1,600 a month?
Ooh.
That's an extra like $1,600 a year, you know, that you're going to be collecting off this deal.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be satisfied with the 1450. I think you told me. Is that what you said a month? But I just need a little more, something up front that I'd feel a little more comfortable with, I guess. And I, you know, my main concern is your tenant buyer not pulling through at the end of the lease. Can you do the 12 months?
Yeah, we can make it 12 months.
All right. I don't know. Give me a number up front that I can live with, and we got a deal.
Man, that's gonna be tough. You know, because typically, you know, it's just the first month's rent and that's it. And people are happy just to walk from the property. I mean, how much is that next payment going to cost you? Say if we wait until August, August 5th, then you're going to have 2 more payments before we can close on it. Because you got a payment due on the 1st. So how much is that going to cost you, right?
Yeah, I hear you. Once I make a payment or two, I might be a little more motivated to do the exact thing you're talking about. Right now, I'd want more money up front, I believe.
Well, you know what I could do is like I could probably do $2,250 at closing, and then it would be $1,650. No, I mean not $650, the $1,450 a month.
If you do $1,450 a month, I mean, in a 12-month lease.
Yeah, and $2,250 on the first payment there. And the tenants will have renters insurance and everything, and they take really, really good care of the properties. Like the property I'm moving right now, the tenant buyer wants to put landscaping in and redoing the pool, and the mentality is much different than the renter.
Exactly. They ain't gonna be in there remodeling and stuff like that, right? Because I don't want no damage done.
No damage, only improvements.
Okay.
Only improvements.
All right. I mean, I've seen some people's improvements, and they're really not improvements.
Yeah. Well,
so right here, Rocky, what you might want to do is this is obviously a concern for him. Give him the opportunity to be able to sign off on anything structural.
okay.
That, you know what I mean? Because his concern is legitimate, because, you know, everybody's taste is not everybody has good taste, and folks will go in and start doing some things. And one of the things that I protect my tenants is no structural improvement without your signing off on it until they become the actual owner of the property. So they can do landscaping, they can do painting, and even the painting, sometimes I would, look, it has to be within a particular palette. Don't come in here and paint my house red.
Right.
Okay.
Type of scenarios, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I can put in the contract that no structural changes or any major cosmetic stuff is done without your approval. How's that sound?
That sounds good. If something happens down the road, who am I going to be dealing with, you or this tenant that you putting in my house? I guess.
Well, when I connect you directly with them, so you'll be dealing directly with the tenant buyer.
Oh. Why don't I let you do this myself then, and just kind of not have you in?
Well, if you know how to do it, you probably would have already done it, right?
Lots of customer.
Yeah, I had been.
You just lost that.
Yeah.
That would be it. I don't know.
Oh, Rock.
That's a tough one. Tough close.
Here.
I got an idea. I got an idea, Rocky, for you. What I would suggest, here's an idea. It sounds like, what Ricky's talking about, he doesn't want to really do a lease option, but he only wants to go 12 months. He likes to do seller financing is what he likes. He doesn't want to own the property. Your issue is the down payment is what it is. He wants some money. So what if you say, you know what, my normal lease option people, I charge usually 5%, which is $10,000. Suppose I was able to work with you on getting you some money from this. That's not something you want to do, would you? So you got to find out what his needs are. He wants some money. And I don't know, with your lease option people, don't you get a down payment? Don't you get like 4 or 5% down?
Yeah, I got it.
So you're getting that down. So basically work it into your structure to kind of like take some, even if you got to give him 3 or 4, you still make 6. He gets 3 or 4, you got a happy client. Now the negative part, in 12 months, you got to kind of get that re-rented again. If your people, you got to make sure you got a strong tenant buyer in there for 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, Rocky, I would have probably fought the 12 months. 12-month leases are, they're murder. They're
Damn.
murder. Like
Quick.
I would have definitely, you know what my experience has been. And, you know, and paint a picture of how, you know, 12 months just sometimes just isn't enough time to get the credit scores to jump to where you need them to be, you know, to get everything. You're kind of setting yourself up for a fall, literally in a 12-month contract. Like my experience has been that they can tend to be the worst. And you want to make sure that he knows that that is just, if it happens in 10, wonderful. Or in 12, wonderful. But very unlikely. You know, 18 months is probably about the minimum that I would agree to in terms of a contract, right? So you want to up the ante on you know that contract, and also on your offer to him in terms of what you can give him. You want to stair step that, right? Like start him, you know, way below what you can actually end up giving him, because you went straight to 2,500, right? And so now you can only go up from there. You can't go back down now. I mean, you know, in most cases, you cannot get back down off of 2,500 or whatever that number is, right? So if your number is 2,500, then, you know, offer him 1,000 or offer him 1,500, right? Because oftentimes you'd be surprised. If he settles at 17, you're $800 up.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Rick, you know, on owner financing, that sounds interesting. What if I can get you 10,000 down, and then we have a 3-year term on that?
Yeah, I mean, I had them other properties that got 10% down, which I thought was fair. A lot of times.
Well, no, it would be 10,000 down, $10,000.
Exactly.
You would take 10,000?
Yeah.
Okay, and we can do it for 3 years. Okay, great. I'll go ahead and you know, send you an offer over today for that, and do 3 years and a $10,000 down payment, and I'll go and send it over to you today. And if those numbers work for you, are you ready to sign today?
Yeah. So I mean, you'll do that 10,000 down, and what was the monthly? 1,450.
Yeah, and we go 3 years on it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, kind of what I was looking for anyway. Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. I'll send it over to you. Thank you.
And see, that's the key. You found out what his objections were. Claude would say, Steve, what their objections, you got to handle that objection. And Ricky had it. And once you handle his objection, you're getting close to that sale.
Yep.
Yeah.
And let me add too, Rocky, lock in that follow-up appointment. Like lock it in, like, you know, call him on the carpet for his integrity or his word or whatever. I find that, you know, you definitely want to make sure that he's not going to ghost you later, you know, because he's all excited right now and he sees the possibility. As soon as he gets off the phone and one of his friends calls and gives him a bunch of negative nanny nonsense, now he's ghosting you until, you know, you can catch him again. So, you know, we definitely, I don't know about you guys, but the ghosting part after the agreement is the worst part of this business. It's like, you know, you can't catch them after they've agreed to everything and now you can't find them. So you have to do whatever you can on the upfront in that conversation to get them locked in.
I got it. Ricky, you're in front of your computer, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I just filled out this contract here. I'm going to email it over to you to investor@abc.com over there. I'm sending it right now. Can you check your email and make sure you got it?
Yep.
Great,
Right.
great. Go ahead and open up that document and you can see the contract there.
Okay.
And, you know, it's got the, you know, the $10,000 down and the 3-year term there. And all you got to do is, you know, sign that document and we can get started.
All right. Sounds good. I mean, once I sign this and approve it, I mean, how long is it going to take? Next week? Next month? Tell me.
Well, I'll go to work today. I'll go to work today marketing your property. So I'm an expert at marketing properties. So I'll go to work tonight and start getting people interested, you know, hopefully today.
All right. And you're going to be able to get me out of this within 36 months, right?
Yes.
I mean, completely.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good.
Yes. Cool. All right. We'll go ahead and sign there and we'll get started on it.
Cool. Done deal.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, if you can do it that quickly and you're able to get, send over the agreement while they're on the phone, that's outstanding. I'm working on getting to that level. I'm actually getting closer and closer. I actually am able to do it now. But yeah, if you can get the agreement, I never say contract. I always say the agreement over to them as quickly as possible. If you can do it while you're on the phone, oh my God, that is golden.
That's the order form close, the classic order form close, because the documents only got a few things you got to stick in there.
Yeah,
punch it in, and then hey, at your computer, get them to sign it.
Yeah. If you have if you have a DocuSign or something that you can fill out real quick and get it over to them, once you get some numbers in place, then you're good to go. You're good to go. So yeah, that was great. Hey, that was outstanding, you guys. Great job, Ricky.
Hey, and there's probably one other thing that I would ask at the end. I would want to know more about his if this is going to be owner finance. I'd want to know more about the people he's putting in, I guess you'd say, as far as their background and stuff like that. I probably should have asked that.
Okay. Yeah. And if I was role playing with you, for instance, and you asked me that, I would be like, that's a great question. What would you need to see to make you comfortable?
I'd want to know that they're going to be able to get their financing within this 36 months, the credit and stuff like that.
Okay. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it to you, Ricky, but you get to sign off on whoever we put in the property. So you'll see the credit report, you'll see the income and all of those things. Would that make you comfortable?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. All right. I'll get that. Once we get everybody in place, you are the final authority on this. So this decision will not just be me putting somebody in your house. Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Glad you called.
All right, perfect. All right, we'll talk a little bit later. Thanks, Ricky.
Victor, I got a question for you. Because on the seller financing, if we buy it, we're the owners. So once we buy it, we're closed on it. They don't need to know what we're going to be doing because we own it. We can do whatever we got to pay it off in 3 years. I don't need to get back with them learning who I'm going to rent it to. I'm the owner.
Yeah, if it's a seller financing deal in that way, but and you're right. If that's the case,
right.
If not. If we're doing any other kind of deal and they're involved because we're talking about a 36-month deal, right? Is that what we're talking about? A lease option, 36 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 36 months, they're going to have to get their financing. So that's what my concern would be, that they're going to be able to get their financing at the end of this 36 months.
What I probably, if I was able to give you my credit score, I wouldn't give you my credit report. If I was able to give you my credit score, would that be sufficient for you? Because I'm going to be buying. If I bought it, if you want to just maybe look at my credit score, but not the credit report.
When you say I don't know, I'm a little confused because the conversation between Rocky and Ricky was a lease option for 36 months. He's going to put somebody in the property. Ricky's asking about the person who's
seller financing. Oh, okay.
It was a lease option.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You would think it's seller financing.
That's seller financing. Right. I thought.
Okay,
yeah. I just want a strong person in there, not somebody that's going to be flim-flamming around.
Right. Not somebody who's not going to be able to close. And there's a conversation to be had also if in fact they can't close. The worst thing that can happen is, you come back to me again and you get another, nice deposit and we do it all over again.
Right.
What I liked about Rocky, you had so many great questions. You got payments, you got this, you got all this information that you can then use that to paint a picture. So you
he totally has an engineer's mind, right?
He could have painted a great picture of that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So the only thing I would say, Rocky, is more questions and more pain. Bring the pain. Like there were some pain points that you just kept going without settling in and let him actually feel how I am your solution to this ache that you are experiencing right now. Make sense?
Yeah, I was kind of dancing while I'm calculating the numbers in my head. As he's talking, he kind of stumped me with the owner. I was like, 10% down. I was like, oh, that's what I charge. How am I gonna? So, but then when on the critique, they're like, oh, you got to get creative on the owner finance. It's like, duh. I could get a buyer for 5% and then make my spread on it and I'm thinking of all these, how am I going to present the numbers to the guy, as we're talking, like, oh, this is the situation, blah, blah, blah. I can give you this much.
I guess that's what I was fishing for, to make sure I wasn't feeling like you was gonna get too much money off the top, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what I typically do, like to make these things go fast, is like I go to Zillow. I pull up the Zillow, and you can use props, all that. But like I just pull up Zillow, and I see the price on there, and I ask what their price is, and then I look at the rental, and whatever the rental price is, that's what I offer them, and maybe a little bit of a premium. So I noticed like playing with that rental payment is like gold. Because like one guy I was talking to, it was a dead deal at $1,350. Okay. But then when I was like, well, what about $1,650? Then they're like, well, yeah, now you got my interest. Because before, I would give like a lowball offer, and if they said no, then I wouldn't play. But I'm doing it on the phone now, trying to gauge like what would make that payment sweet enough that you would say yes, like today, on the deal, and then I'm just getting that agreement, and then I'm just, writing the offer up, and just
yeah. Very, very straightforward and to the point and stuff. Which I think is amazing, fantastic that you're actually able to process in that manner and be able to, to come up with those calculations and stuff in that way. Not all of us, are, able to actually do that. So that's amazing. I think that the only thing that I would say that I would add would be plugging into emotion just a little bit stronger instead of, being in presentation mode all the time, because you have the answers. And so you want to give it to him. And he may not actually qualify to get an answer at this point because you haven't gotten enough information yet. You don't know the pain enough yet. I don't know where I can plug this question in such that it causes you the most pain and encourages you to close this deal with me at a much deeper level. I need to move you from 8 is good, 10 is better. 6 is good, 9 is obviously better. So emotionally, that's where, we want to get these people to where they are going up to the closer to 10 that we can get them, the more chance we are that they're not going to ghost us and that they're going to sign on the dotted line when the time comes. Right? Because Claude is right, and he stresses this a lot.
Yeah, Victor, you're actually saying the right point. Because, I'm listening, and it's like he's so much into the intellectual part, just trying to educate the seller about what is it that he's doing, how good the product is. But like Jeremy said and you said, is that he needs to get to the emotional, find out the reason, and talk about more about the pain, and don't try to make it so long, because the conversation be so long to the point the seller could end up, hanging up the phone and say, hey, call me back. Right. Not right now. Let's talk a little bit later. That's all it is.
Yeah. Oh, and on Jimmy's point also, you don't want to give him a whole lot of new stuff to think about. You just want him to plug into his already existing pain. New information. Now he's just got a whole bunch of new stuff. Like, oh damn, I didn't think of that. Okay. Cool. I didn't think of that. Now I'm thinking about that, right? And now I'm removed from where that pain was, and now I'm processing a whole new set of information that's now in my brain that was placed there for me. Right. That's one thing that we definitely want to avoid if we possibly can when we're doing our presentations to people. Okay, cool, man. This is good. You guys are amazing, man. This is so good. I'm getting so much out of this. I hope everybody else on the call, on the line, is getting as much out of it as well. If there anybody else want to do a real estate related role play, if not, I could jump on with Harvard and maybe work with you a little bit more on the insurance program. Don't everybody jump at once. I love these calls. They're always, everybody's like, the one thing about Damon is he always turns on his video. Damon and Ricky, they always turn on their video. That's awesome. So I can see some faces. Harvard, you want to work a little? I think your microphone is down again. You're not muted. I don't see you muted, but I don't hear what you're saying either. You want check your plug? Nope, can't hear you. I think you're there. Try.
Testing. Hello.
Yep, I got you now.
All right.
Yeah, I got you now.
Right. Okay. All right. Then,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's work a little bit on the front end of this, just kind of you know, setting the agenda. You know,
Setting the
find out, let them know that they can fire you. You know that I'm calling with some solutions, but if this is not something that works for you, you know, feel free to fire me.
Okay.
I'm not going to be wasting a bunch of your time. I just want to find out if, in fact, I can. I have something that would solve a problem for you from that perspective. And make sure that you don't go into, you know, presentation and telling him all about your product before you know how your product solves his problem. The way that you know that is you have to ask him questions.
Ask questions and get to that pain point.
Yeah. So before we get started, tell me a little bit about your product and how it actually works in terms of, and just, you know, the cliff notes on how it works that he would be able to access monies for, because from what I know so far, you're able to access monies towards an ultimate, you know, in case you have a large ticket emergency, such as a roof replacement or water heater, you know, cooling system, you know, breakdown or something like that, that they can access this money?
Yes. Yes, it's an endowment. So let's say if the endowment is for, you know, a roof in this case, and 20,000 is the number. In 20 years, as you're paying a premium per month, in 20 years, you're securing a $20,000 endowment to use towards, you know, an estate, because the moment you create the actual policy, it becomes an estate to use as collateral and such things like that. So
okay, so let me see if I heard that right. I won't be able to actually benefit from this for 20 years, or?
Well, if the goal is for you to secure funding towards fixing roof in your home in 20 years, yes, you will benefit from that particular aspect of it. But if you want to use it,
what if I sign up with you today, and you know, we can assume the role play right now.
Okay.
If I sign up with you today, how soon could I, you know, access this product? I mean, how does this benefit me outside of a, you know, a home warranty or something?
A home warranty or some type of what are you paying, like a monthly premium for your home warranty?
That's right.
Okay. And it covers roof like roof repairs and maintenance and such things like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now does your home warranty qualifies as in the form of an estate? Like
No, it's almost, I guess in your industry it would be like a term policy.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it'll run for the term that I'm paying the premium, and if I stop paying the premium, you know, I'll have a little bit of time maybe to reactivate it, but other than that, I could lose the coverage. Yeah,
lose the overall coverage. But that's just because we're in the role play now, so I'm just going to mention, you know, in regards to you being a businessman and how things are operating, where we're talking about tax and such things like that. Because you are a businessman, you invest in real estate, you know, you have multiple businesses, and being able to utilize this service. So I would just ask you, as a businessman, do you find yourself having issues with do you mind if we talk about money?
no, I'm good.
Okay. As a businessman, do you have issues with taxes and certain deductions on your business?
I could always use more deductions.
Right. Okay. So what would you say your bracket would be? 21% or 30?
Yeah, I'm probably closer to you know, to 30.
30%. Okay. And how much is that is eating up from your profits? How much is that really affecting you?
Well, you know, I mean, you know, you got to pay Uncle Sam. I couldn't quantify how much it's affecting me. You know, I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of like, you know, it is part of the, you know, part of what it is to do business is you got to pay Sam.
Got to pay Sam. Yeah. But how would you like to fix that issue in regards to, you know, putting some aside that actually is going to benefit you? Would that be something you're interested in?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, but what is that number for you? Because I know you're a businessman. You're tired of paying Uncle Sam, but how much have you, you know, how much has it affected your business thus far?
I'll be honest with you. I really don't know how to answer that question. I don't, I haven't thought about it in terms of that. I'm at a 30%,
Mm,
tax bracket. So I end up paying 30% of my income towards my taxes. If
right.
I can lower that amount to 25%, that'll be a win. If I can get it down to 20%, that'll be a better win.
Right. Right.
Can you help me do that?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Exactly. Now if now let's say if I were able to get you down to, let's say, below 15%, what would you say to me next?
Tell me more.
Tell you more. Okay. Well, let's just discuss a little more about your business. Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions, and you can ask me some questions at the end of it, and let's figure out some terms and what I can actually solve for you. How does that sound?
I'm good with that.
Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
So this hasn't affected your profits yet, right?
Well, yeah, it's money out of my pocket because I'm sending it to Sam instead of spending it on vacation.
No vacation.
Yeah,
That's
it
that's a
definitely
great.
affected me.
Hey,
Yeah.
I love the way you do business. That's great. That's a great answer. Yeah,
Yeah,
but we
I'd
we
rather
all
be
look
spending it in some foreign country.
right. I like your background there on your Zoom. You look like you're off a lake somewhere. Like you would rather
Mhm.
be, in the mountains
Yeah,
exploring and
yeah,
so yeah,
that's
but
right. That's exactly right.
yeah, so suggest that, with a particular product that I would like to introduce you to with your business and being able to put some money to the side and have access to it readily available in case you want to go to that vacation. What would you say to me next?
Now I'm just waiting for details now.
Don't go for the details. Okay, now off the role play. So from that moment on, it's similar to like a presentation in the sense of me introducing a product. So how would y'all say, you introduce the product more
Okay,
natural?
okay. So you know how your product works in terms of solving a problem.
Right.
So what is one of the main problems that your product solves that I can see, feel, taste, and benefit from today?
Got you.
Like
Okay.
if I was involved in your product, how would that benefit me, and how would I see that benefit immediately?
Okay. Okay.
No, that was a legitimate question.
Okay. Well, again, with the taxes, if you are in a 30% bracket, and let's just say that 30% is eating up, 500,000 of your money, right? And
Mhm.
it's a piece where you have to pay Uncle Sam, right?
Okay.
Of that 500,000, if you were to create, let's say, a policy, a whole life policy in your company as a key person, and let's say the premium on that is 100,000 a year, that 100,000 going towards that policy is an expense to be written off. So now your 500,000 is down to 400, and you have an immediate estate with that particular policy as it's basically cycling your money. You're no
Okay. So how
longer
so how could you tell me all of that in a short sentence?
in a short sentence.
Yeah.
Reducing your tax exposure.
Okay. Um, right now, Mr. Businessman, you're paying X number of dollars to Uncle Sam.
Mm,
How would paying 20% less than that, how would that make you feel?
okay, that would make me feel great. Tell me more.
Okay. Okay. Um, do you see where I'm going with
Yeah,
this?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Go
yeah,
over
yeah.
this.
Okay.
Okay, okay, great. Now, why is it that you have been, why do you feel like you've been paying this many taxes for this long? I mean,
All right.
has it
Yeah.
has it's obviously a problem for you. And you seem like a really intelligent guy. Are you looking for solutions, or
Mm.
have you just not found any?
Yeah, well, it's just, I'm putting all these hours in, making sure the business is successful. And right now, I don't even have enough time to really look for other options, but I'm open. I am open.
You know what? Thank you so much for sharing that. So what I'm hearing is you have a sort of time constraint, and you need something that you really don't have to think about, that solves your problem as far as how much money you're paying to Uncle Sam every single year.
Yes, that is correct.
Would
That is
would that
correct.
be accurate?
Yes,
Okay.
that's extremely accurate.
Okay, good. Now, if I could show you a product that would actually reduce your taxes to that degree, is that something we can come to a decision on today, or do you
Yep.
need to speak to the committee or the wife, or how does that work for you?
I'll be able to make the decision immediately.
Okay, got it. All right. You see where we're going here. So now
Yes,
I contact
yes.
your
Your
so
attention.
now
You
yeah.
got a commitment. You got, and it's now your show where the ball is in your court,
Right.
and you could
and
toss it
and,
back
and
to
I
him.
haven't done a presentation yet,
Right.
because you don't want to
Right.
present. You just want to plug it in to where it makes the most impact and sense for that person. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you don't have, like, me as a businessman, I'm not gonna stay on the phone with you for you to explain your product, because you just got out of product training. You got so much product information in your mind that you could do a 8-hour class right now on the product, right?
Right.
I don't have time for that shit. And when I say I mean the proverbial busy business person.
Everyday person that's right.
They don't have time for it, right?
Right.
How is this going to solve my problem, and how much is going to cost me are our two primary, and probably anybody on the line could agree with that. Those are our two primary concerns. How much time is this going to cost me? How much money is it going to take out of my pocket? How do I benefit?
That's right.
Those are the only three questions I need to have answered. Everything else, I don't care about the rest of the stuff.
Hey, there's like just a few things, like, yeah, it's a lot of facts. But like, all I need is a few bullet points where with the benefits, I'm here I want to save you money, or, if I could save you money, like, you have like a benefit, like a few like lines, that, like, but it explains the benefits to the person with the facts. Because I was getting confused listening. I'm like, oh shit, where's this? I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah.
And then I was like lost, and I gotta sweep my brain off. But yeah, you gotta draw them in the beginning. Like with the lease option stuff, we want to take their problem off their hands. They're not making that pain. So that's just, I just say that, and now they got my attention. I want to buy their house. That's
now, how do you this is where I'm at with it now, is because when you mention life insurance, right? A lot of people, that light doesn't turn on. They don't even understand what it is, the benefits of it. They think it's strictly a face value death benefit, but there's 1,000 other components to whereas
say it
people
differently. Say it differently. You pull them in with like something they understand, and then the second or third line is about life insurance. But you need to pull them in, because I'm thinking sleazy life insurance guy.
Exactly.
Somebody dying.
Right.
So like, you don't want me going there. You don't want me thinking about that. You want me to be happy, and so you paint the dream and pull them in, and then get down.
Dump it on them, like, okay.
Nitty-gritty details. You got to pull them in, though.
Jeremy was saying in the chat box, and I was thinking the exact same thing myself. Is there something else that you can call it, especially on the upfront, other than life insurance? Because understand, as soon as you say life insurance, you're speaking into our already always understanding of life insurance, right? So now you have to qualify,
change the name. I gotta give it
another.
Now
I'm like, life. I don't need life insurance. Thanks. Bye.
Got you. No.
You
That's right. Call it something else.
Now you're outside of life insurance. So now you have to say, look, I'm going to show you how I can protect your investment and allow you to benefit from it, not only right now, but in the future. If I could show you how I do that, is that something you'd be interested in?
Yes. Well, thank you. Nah, y'all just really, I just had a moment right there, and y'all I appreciate everything right now. I'm just feeling so good right now.
The family financially secure. It's about financial security for the family and their children and their, and the children's children. Like,
Yeah.
all about like taking care of your family and being financially secure, making that that castle, the foundation, and so you just got to paint that picture that you want to help them secure their future and their family's future and put some money in their pocket.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Jeremy, that's great, Rocky. Thanks for your input, buddy. So Jeremy put something in there that I thought was really good. He says safety net insurance. I may take out insurance. I may not refer to insurance, but something in terms of safety net.
We're on. I'll be back. Yes.
Hi.
Yes. She just came from a run. She just popped in. I was like, what just happened?
Is that your wife?
Yes, that's the wife. I didn't even see her because I got this background up, so I didn't even see anybody creeping up on me like.
Right. You guys are an amazingly handsome couple.
Oh my goodness, thank you. But back to what you were saying.
So Jeremy suggested something in terms of, he said safety net insurance, right? So safety net is great. I like where Jeremy's going with that because you're providing a safety net for them to, some place to catch them in case of this potentially catastrophic situation. But not only is it going to catch them, but in the meantime, it's going to allow them to put more money in the pocket on a yearly basis because it's going to reduce their tax base.
Yes.
So you have to bullet point that, right? What if I could show you a way that not only could I prevent you from, having to take a ginormous hit or even maybe close your business, and not only that, but have that be a benefit to you long term in terms of the end game for you, and your monthly tax burden that you're currently incurring. Yeah. Would that be something you would like to you would be open to talk about?
Yes, I'm actually, I'm excited to see something. Are you able to send me like a brochure or something that explains it? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to leave you right there because we're actually about 5 minutes over, which is amazing because we've been on this for like 2 hours, which has
it don't even feel like it though. It don't even feel like it.
Right. So did you get some benefit out of that though? Do you see where we're kind of going if you tie it into Claude's thing? Damon, I saw you unmuted. You want to say something, buddy?
I was going to ask if we can get a copy of the recording.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be posted and everything. I'll get better at this in terms of that because I think I started the recording a little bit late, so it might even be in 2 parts. I'm not sure, but we'll definitely post it. I'll get with Justin, and he's going to walk me through this whole process and everything. But man, I cannot tell you guys how much I appreciate you guys being on there and how you guys just bring the benefit and everything to the group. Thank you for having me and allowing me to, host it and for your participation and everything. And we do this every week. I had been doing it on Wednesdays previously, starting at 9 o'clock Pacific time. I know this particular group starts at 10 o'clock, but I start at 9 o'clock and Justin has allowed me to use the platform starting at 9 o'clock so I don't have to switch over and do all of that stuff. So whenever you guys want to jump on between that 2-hour period, that would be amazing. We'd love to have you. Looks like we got Justin jumping on board. You got something you want to share, my friend? Is he on there?
I think he's muted.
Oh, he's muted. Okay, he might have just. There he goes. There he is. There's the man.
This was incredible, guys. I sat here and I was riveted to it the entire time. Awesome job, Victor. Everybody's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Super good.
This is great, you guys. And we'll do it again next week. Again, Justin, thanks for everything you do for us, my friend. You're an amazing leader, and love being on the team, buddy.
Great job, man. Hey, thank you, everybody. Well, let's do it again next week, huh?
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good one.